the bustling town of Eldemir, where merchants bartered and gold flowed like the river that ran through its heart, there lived a man named Corin. He was a skilled craftsman known for his fine leatherwork, yet he carried a weight that no one could see, a shadow that followed him wherever he went. This shadow was not cast by the sun, nor by any physical light, but by his debts. Years ago, in pursuit of comfort and status, Corin had borrowed coin from the town's many lenders, first for a larger shop, then for a fine carriage, and then for things he scarcely remembered. At first it had seemed manageable, just numbers on a ledger, promises made to the future. But over time the debts grew, and with them so did the shadow. It whispered to him at night, reminding him of what he owed. It loomed behind him during the day, dimming the joy of his labour. And worst of all, it sapped his courage, making him believe he could never be free. One evening, as Corin sat alone by the river, an old woman approached. She was cloaked in deep green, her face lined with wisdom, her eyes keen as an eagle's. "You carry a shadow," she said simply. Corin sighed. "I know, but no matter how hard I work, it never leaves me." The woman nodded. "That is because you do not face it. That, like fear, grows in darkness. It thrives when ignored." She pulled from her satchel a small lantern and placed it before him. "Shine a light upon it. Name every piece of what you owe. Write it down. Only then will you see it clearly, and what is seen can be conquered." Corin hesitated, but that night he followed her advice. By candlelight he wrote every coin he owed, every lender's name, and every promise yet unfulfilled. And as he did, something unexpected happened. The shadow shrank, its form no longer so monstrous. The next day, the woman returned. "Now," she said, "begin with the smallest. Strike it down like a weak branch, then move to the next. Do not feed the shadows with new debts. Spend only what is yours, and watch as the darkness retreats." And so Corin did. Each month he paid what he could, first the smallest debts, then the larger ones. He no longer feared the shadow, for he faced it daily with steady resolve. He stopped seeking more than he needed, choosing instead to build wealth, not illusion. Years later, as he stood once more by the river, he realized the shadow was gone. In its place, a golden dawn stretched across the water, unburdened and free. Remember, debt is a shadow that grows in darkness. Face it, name it, and diminish it with steady action. Freedom lies not in avoidance, but in the light of action. Thank you for joining me and Corin today, and until next time, goodbye and good mental health.